Hello.
How's it going?
Ooh, I'm all right. How about you?
Nah. Yeah, I agree.
I'm there, or it finally found it.
You got a haircut.
Thank you for noticing. Yes, it is. Bit shorter again.
Last meeting, but it seemed inappropriate to say something.
What? You said it was necessary last meeting?
No, I noticed it last week meeting, but it seemed inappropriate to mention it in that other meeting.
No worries. That's a good thing. Like I'm always like, should I go to the hairdresser? I'll do it next time. And then you keep extending it, and now it's like, all right, I'm gonna go.
Okay, well, I see we have a bunch of people that joined. So let's start. We're talking about feature flag office hours. We have some notes in the agenda. Shinyu, you have the first point. So
Okay. Please wait a bit. I'm just preparing.
okay, so do you want to skip to the next point until you get?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so we've been talking asynchronously a lot about this next issue about protected feature flags / protected strategies, and I thought it was worthwhile to discuss this synchronously. So let's open up the issue, and I will share my screen. Okay, so again, let's start from the basic. The idea is what are we trying to solve? And the basic use case that we're trying to solve is that we want developers to have full control of feature flags during development and any testing / staging / dev environment. They can do whatever they want. But once we hit production, we don't want developers is not the right word, but people without the right permissions to turn on flags in a protected environment. So the way that we have protected environments today in GitLab is that you have the option to specify specific users that can deploy to these environments. And I want to use that same permission model in order to allow people to toggle feature flags on and off in production, protected environments. Sorry, I may interchange production and protected environments, but I mean the same thing. Okay, so the idea here that we started talking, and then there was a lot of spanning of and spinning off of ideas. There's two concepts that we need to talk about. One of them is protected strategies, and the other one is protected flags, feature flags. So the way that, and I do want us to think about the final solution and then start thinking about iteration and what can we accomplish in small increments. So I'm going to start with solutions, unless Dimitri, you stop me and you want to ask something before we solutionize.
Yeah, so this is a good question. Or like, personally, I have one main question is, it's mostly about feasibility. Like there are two things on the table, right? There's either we go for a subsection of a feature flag being protected, meaning the strategy, but that would still mean that the feature flag itself can be turned on and off for those environments if they are protected or not, or the entire feature flag is going to be considered protected, meaning that if any of the environments is protected, it means the complete flag will protect it and nobody can turn it unless they have enough permissions for all included environments. My main question here would be, would there be a difference in feasibility engineering wise going for feature flag as a level of protection from the get-go or going for the protected strategy? Because from a UX perspective speaking, I think it makes a lot more sense to go for the feature flag level rather than the protected strategy level.
Before any engineer answers that, what I would like to just mention is that the ideal user experience would be that if I have permissions for my environments, if I toggle them, that would only take effect to the environments that I can. This will make the observability really, really confusing because what does it mean if a feature flag is on for a specific environment, yes or no? It's going to be a little bit more complicated in terms of display. But the best user experience would be, if I have permissions, let me do whatever I want. And then if I don't have permissions, just don't let me touch those specific environments. That would be the ideal experience. But as you mentioned, Dimitri, I think the easiest way to start and the most iterative is just to say, for this first iteration, if there is any environment that is protected, the entire flag is protected. But now I'm going to stop talking and let others.
I'm more thinking that instead of locking entire feature flag, it's better to just lock strategy level. Like Angelo made a really nice comment bottom there. Yeah, it will be much simpler and easier and potentially doesn't cause some, locking out people who actually have a permission to change the future flag state for their review app or something. But by locking the entire future flag, there's a possibility that kick them out. Yeah, I basically think that per strategy level, it's a good first iteration.
So just to go into that, I'm like, I hear easier and simpler and no locking out. I think locking out is super valid. On the other hand, how do you look at the concern that this enables people with less permissions, so people who have no permissions for certain protected environments, to still be able to control the feature flag essentially, because that is the main thing we're omitting here.
As long as the people doesn't create a strategy which includes protected environment, it doesn't affect the protected environment, so should be fine. So the point is that we should also, create, delete, update. These three actions should be prohibited according to the protected environment.
Sorry, Shana, I'm trying to follow you, but like your answer to my question was not clear to me, and I'm finding it hard to follow up after your comment after. Could you go into detail on my question on how, like, my concern raised around a feature flag still being able to be controlled by people with not enough permissions for the protected environments included into the environment scope for that, like configured for that feature flag?
So the people who don't have a permission to access protected environment are going to feature flag page and then create a new strategy. So basically the action required is that separate strategy per environment. Currently, multiple environments can belong to the same strategy, right? But this model wouldn't really work with this feature. So it's more like a define different strategy, the create, even if it's duplicate, just create two strategy, and then attach the, protected environments and the unprotected environments.
Gotcha. So you mean like if there's an existing strategy that involves a protected environment, and a certain strategy is involved, say user IDs or something like that, then if the user doesn't have enough permissions to edit that, then they will create or duplicate that strategy within the same feature flag,
Yes,
and then
yes,
apply
yes.
it to like the environments they care about.
Yeah, so for example, like an operator who has a permission, everything, created a strategy with review app /asterisk and then production environment, which is protected. And then developers came after and then realized that they don't have permission to change the review app. Then probably they need to ask the operator to first remove the environment /asterisk from the protected strategy, and then create a new entry, create the duplicated strategy, and then assign review environments. I could be wrong. There are many ways to. Maybe I'm missing something.
I have one remaining question, because I think what you're saying makes sense to how I'm thinking. I wasn't thinking about having the exact same strategy twice on a single feature flag, which apparently can be done. So that is something I was unaware of, though with a different environment scope there. Still, the main question still stays, is that if this is the case, so a feature flag includes a strategy for unprotected environment and a strategy for a protected environment, then the people who can basically only access the unprotected environment strategy can still turn on and off the flag, right? Which will have an effect on the protected environment.
Top level flag, you mean? The top level shouldn't be allowed as long as it touches one of the protected environments.
Exactly. That is where I was aligned on as well.
I would like to just stay on this point. At the moment, the only place that you have this toggle is on the top of the, there's two places where you can toggle off feature flags. You can toggle them on the edit page, and you can toggle them on the feature flag list. Both of them today actually will enable the flag for whatever you set. So that includes protected and non-protected. Does this mean that we are going to change the toggle to be on a strategy level and not on the top level?
Originally, as part of the redesign, we were going to have toggles on both, where the global toggle would be like a kill switch and shut off the whole flag, and then each strategy would have its own toggle as well. And it got descoped at some point, and I don't think we ever came back around to rescheduling that. So if that makes this easier, perhaps that's something we should consider.
That would actually solve the thing that I was thinking about. If we don't have an ultimate kill switch, but we have a kill switch per environment scope, to be honest, like that sounds as something that could solve this thing and make protected strategies, a valid solution, in my opinion.
I agree. I think that, so for the first step, we would need to create this concept of protected strategy. Then we would need to add this option, at least for the UI, because I think in the API it's easier, but for the UI to have a toggle per strategy. The top menu needs to turn into a kill switch. Now each one of these is another iteration. And then we need to figure out on the feature flag list view how we're going to present this, because now potentially you don't have an on or off, it's on or off per strategy. So we would At the moment, it kind of displays the strategy in this badge-like view, but now we would probably need to add the information for each one if it's on or off, in addition to what it displays today.
So originally, the original feature flag design had a blue badge if the scope was on, and a gray badge if the scope was off. Are we looking to make it editable from that page as well, or do we just need to display its status?
From day one, definitely not. Like we could force people to go in to edit it specifically for strategy. But I do think, like, I don't know if you've seen the metrics that you implemented not long ago. The majority of the people are toggling off and on from the list view and not from the edit.
That makes sense. It's a lot easier.
It's easier and the same at the moment, right? But we're creating a difference if we're going to go this protected strategy direction. Then it's going to have different functionality.
Well, people are still lazy and don't want to click. So in that sense.
We can still surface it eventually somewhere on the list page if we don't make it too complicated. And I don't know what the usage of feature like strategies per feature flag is going to be. You know, if there's going to be feature flags with 20 different strategies applied to one of them, I think that's going to make things more difficult. But it's 2 or 3.
We could make the badges somehow interactable so that clicking on them could toggle a strategy as kind of a first iteration.
Yeah. Or at least if you click on it and it asks you, do you want to turn it on instead of just bringing another page?
Yeah. So does this mean the idea is to get rid of the top level switch completely?
I think if we go to the protected route, it's inevitable. I think also, regardless to whatever category we're working on, now we're talking specifically for feature flags, you need to be as granular as possible and let the users select everything as granular as possible. So for environment, for strategy, I think the smaller the better.
Yeah, the top level only makes sense from a permissions perspective if it can only be toggled on and off if the user has permissions to all environments and all strategies involved in that feature flag, right?
Yeah.
This was way simpler than in the issue. I saw so many comments. I was like, oh, this is way better. I think this is a sound direction, to be honest.
Well, it also is because we talked about it so much in the issue that we came more prepared with what we need to do. So this was definitely very productive. I think we have a plan. Oh, thumbs up from everyone. Cool. Shinya, do you want to talk about your issue?
Yeah. Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been thinking about A/B testing a lot lately. Like I already posted a lot of videos. Thanks for that. It's really interesting. And then I was toying around Unleash clients and our GitLab the feature flag feature and came up with this demo. So I just want to show off this thing. So what I'm going to show you, the demonstrate is A/B testing, what I believe. So the definition of A/B testing, maybe you guys already know, so I don't want to dig into that. So I'll just start off this demo. Okay, and then first thing is cleanup thing. And then, so we are seeing 2 windows here. The right one, it's a bit confusing that we are seeing 2 GitLab here. It's same application technically, but just pretend as the right, this project, my awesome Ruby app is a project on gitlab.com. And then left one is a customized application, client's application. This is not GitLab, this is also my awesome Ruby app. Okay. And then, UX engineer one day saw that this application, and then like I visited this page and then wondering that what if this new project button is orange instead of green? So this is where experiments happens. And then here I'm opening the code of this my awesome application. And then the first thing is to do is future flag variant. This is already supported in Alish. And then so in this, at first I'm going to change this button to, currently the success color is fixed, but we're going to change to success and warning color. Success is a green color, which is this, and the warning is orange color. You're going to see it later. And this is done. Then I'm going to use this experiment button color feature flag. And the next, what we want to know is that, let's say this user, currently I'm logging as Kathy, and then Kathy collected this new project button, and then this new project creation form is shown. This is like a goal, like UX engineer wants this happen more. So we want to record the event in this page that if a user landed on this page, we record this event as user visits new project page. And then basically that's it. The setup for this new My Awesome application is done. And at next, we're going to create a feature flag with variants. We're going to visit this page. This is a project on GitLab.com. And then visit the feature flag page. Something wrong. Because I don't have permission. Okay. So Ruby app. Then going to feature flag page. For clarification, I'm going to leave this first. And I'm going to create a new feature flag. And then feature flag is called experiment button color. And the strategy is whatever is fine. Then create a feature flag. And here we have a feature flag. And then we also add a variant. But since I didn't have a time to extend the form, so just pretend as there's a variant form. In this demo, I'm going to directly inject the variant definitions. So here's a variant definition. There are two variants. One is success. As I said, success is a green color. The warning, the second is warning. Warning is orange color. And each variant has a weight. Success is 30% of users. The warning, 70% of users gonna see it. And then you cannot see the variant setup, but it's already injected internally. And at next, let's check that the variant is working. Here I'm logging as Kathy. Oops, oh no. This must be incognito. Sign in as Kathy, secret password, and login. And then I'll see that this thing, new project button is orange color. And then let's, pretend as a Kathy. She saw this button. It's very interesting. It's catching attention. So she clicks this button, which is a good thing from UX perspective. And the next, sign out. Let's log in as John. John also, oops. Yeah, see this orange button. This is a warning color. And then John also thought that this button is interesting, so he also landed on this page. And at the next, login as a root. Okay. The root is saying this new project. This is this green button because John and Kathy is belong to this weight 70 because their user ID is much later. And whereas the root ID is very early, so he's included in the weight 30. So he's saying 30. And the root thought that, green button, I hit that. So he didn't click it. And actually, like I acted as three different users, everything is recorded. Everything, like which user saw which button color, and also which user landed on the new project creation form. Everything is recorded and sent to the server side, this project on GitLab.com. And then we're going to see it from now. User going to visit the A/B testing page. Currently, there's nothing to see because no experiment is defined. So we're going to define experiments. Here's our experiment definition. At first, name. This is our experiment name, project creation button color, whatever name is fine. And here's a base event. Base event means that the where branch happening, which is this button, like where Kathy saw orange button, root saw green button thing. Here's that's a called base event. And then next, conversion event. Conversion event means that the goal of this experiment, which means landing on the create new project form, right? So this actually defines that this event name, which we injected here, is the goal. And we're going to inject this experiment definition. And now we are seeing that the result of the experiment. At first, we see a project experiment title. And what's interesting is that there are two variants happening. One is success, right, which is green button color. And the other one is warning, orange button color. And the success, unique visitors is shown as 1 because only root visited there. The root saw that green button. And the conversions, he didn't land on the new project creation form, so conversion is 0. Whereas warning variant, the orange button, there were 2 unique visitors, Kathy and John saw it, and then actually landed on the creation form. So a conversion is 2, which means that warning variant, the warning color is more effective on this experiment. And this the conversion rate or change thing is just calculated based on the these values. Yeah, so I don't want to dig into that. Basically, that's it. This is a simple demo about the A/B testing. Yeah, is there any questions?
Really cool, Shinya. Thank you for putting this together. So how?
Yep.
Everything you did right now, you did through the Unleash code, which we already have supported. So how far are we to just present this specific demo that you showed? So adding this A/B testing new category in the left pane, like how difficult would that be?
The creating of these things, actually I finished a few hours, so maybe 1 milestone requires 1 milestone. But the most challenging thing is that this is not pure Unleash Ruby client. We need to add a new API to the Unleash Offshell. So Unleash Offshell already has a metrics API endpoints, but this is not sufficient to achieve this A/B experiment thing. But we need a more granular advanced thing, which is called event API. So yeah, that's a most challenging part maybe.
Very, very cool.
Thanks.
Well, we're at time. There was another question on the agenda that I don't think we will have time to go into. I'm not sure who wrote it. How do we support enterprise mission critical app support via GitLab.com for SaaS customer? Is there anyone that can take that to answer?
That
Offline?
sounds like a question that Cherry posted in the Feature Flags channel a while ago.
I think
maybe
she answered on Slack.
Okay, so maybe it's old.
No, I think it's new. I'm not sure. So, Sherry, sorry we didn't get around to your question. Let's take this asynchronously. Bye. Thank you all.